Hello, sir.
Hello. Oh, the LF found me a lawyer and is paying for it.
We are recording this.
Yeah, I know. Fine. No, it's I did ask Mike Dolan if I could talk about it. He said it's okay to say that publicly. So okay,
Cool.
So yeah, I spent 2 days trying to track down a lawyer. Yeah, and it's yeah. The LF has an insurance plan for legal support, and it was not useful.
Oh, it's like a parking tickets and
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to
the
also
leases and stuff like that.
And it's yeah. I had one of the reps come back to me and say, "We don't cover federal things," and I sent them the blurb back of says, and then I bolded federal and responded with that this morning. So we'll see what they say to that. But at this point, I'm good, but I am going to make their lives a little more difficult because they made my life difficult.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm spiteful like that just a little bit. We now have an .github repository for the OSSF.
Wait, what?
We have a .github repository for the OpenSSF. We didn't have one before, so now we have one.
Sorry, a GitHub repository.
A .github repository for the OpenSSF.
Oh, sorry. Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We didn't have one. That's a new one as of this morning, I think, or yesterday.
Nice. Okay, perfect. So we should consider things like Security MD and Security Insights. Security Insights, maybe not, because I don't know, it could cover an organization. Super awesome, but that's good.
I have to drop off at a 1:30 for a meeting with another lawyer. It's the plaintiff's lawyer. I'm trying to get them to extend the deadline by 20 days.
Yeah. How is it to work with a Linux Foundation lawyer for the policy, for the outbound security policy?
Oh, for the outbound one, I worked with Mike Dolan directly, who is a PM at the Linux Foundation, but also a lawyer. He's very nice. He's very, he's not your average lawyer. He's fairly well informed about technology topics, and he's an advocate for open source. I negotiated my contract when I came into the LF, and I had my lawyer looking over this, and he's like, this is the first time that I ever had a lawyer argue that the IP that an employee generates needs to be open source during the time that they're like, he's like, it is, yeah. So
this is not an argument you're unhappy to have.
No, it's not. It's just that my lawyer was like, I'm surprised. I've never had a lawyer that's argued for your, all of the stuff you develop while you work for this company should be open. And I was like, so
I take that as a very positive thing.
Oh yeah. So Mike Dolan's good. Mike Dolan's good. He's like he's with it. He's like, he knows what a CNA is for the CV numbering authority. Like he's very like in the know. So yes, I like Mike Dolan. Luigi was asking what my experience was like going through trying to get the outbound disclosure policy signed off by LF Legal.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mike Dolan. I've loved him before. I mean, he's actually now my boss, but I liked him before. So, but
you won't hold that against him.
I won't hold that against him. Really, the big challenge with Mike and is that he
Fine.
is insanely busy. I do my best to not badger him when I don't need his time because he has precious little of it. But it's always a joy to chat with him. So yeah. Excuse me. So what are we up to here?
We're just getting started. We're getting started a little late. It's all good though.
Okay.
So it probably will just be us. So I think Jonathan, you said you need to drop at half past. I could certainly use time back. So
Okay.
if we can make this one on the short side. I don't know, Luigi, if you had any updates on security insights.
Short updates. I mean, about the security insight, honestly, in the last week, I was a bit busy and blocked. And so I haven't had time to dedicate enough time to review the Jonathan pull requests, but I need just to merge them more or less all and just close issue now. I hope to do this week, and I'm sorry for the delay, my fault.
Okay.
And about the security policy, well, technically the security policy is ready, I guess. I'm quite sure that we don't want to go public with a security policy that don't have the safe harbor. And for this reason, I was asking about Linux Foundation lawyer. We need to have an approval by the legal team. The policy is ready. Honestly, I've used the template by the disclosure.io. That is the same template used by at least one Unity State Governative website. So we need just to have an approval, a formal approval by the legal team. But yeah, I don't think that we need to edit so much the template. We need just to agree on if we want to have the safe harbor or not. But I think it is a requirement for us. And I have written today a message in the vulnerability disclosure channel to try to move this topic. Yeah, because now we need just to have a formal approval. The policies has been reviewed, I guess, from a lot of people, from for sure the vulnerability disclosure group, but also from the tag group. I shared it at least 2 times, and so now it is we need to wait for the Linux Foundation. David,
Okay.
if you have any contact that can help us to move and to go public with this, please.
Okay, we're talking about a safe harbor for those who are reporting vulnerabilities to, say, OpenSSF?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Jonathan and I have talked about this, and then I decided to get pretty sick at the conference. I'm still recovering, so I have not done anything on that. Jonathan, have you done anything along the safe harbor stuff? We talked once, and then I disappeared off the face of the planet. So
Nope.
okay. We talked about Mike Dolan. Mike, and by the way, as we said, like Mike, he had a lot of concerns about that safe harbor. I have to be careful here because I think some of that was under a
ECP.
well, no, illegal privilege here. But basically, the problem is that there are attackers who exploit safe harbors who are not working with the best interests of anybody except evildoers, frankly. And while the intent is clear, we unfortunately have had some pretty awful experiences.
And
Okay.
if we underline that we can always take our decision according our own blah 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 and say that hey, we can change the rule where we want and we can decide.
No. Because if you say something and they do something depending on it, you can't just pull the rug out from under them. So you've got to say what you actually mean. And really, you don't want to say anything else that you don't mean anyway. But I've forgotten. There's a weird legal term. I think it's estoppel. That may not be the right legal term. Not a lawyer. But basically, if you make a decision based on what someone else says, there are certain protections to you because you trusted what someone else said. And my apologies to me. If a lawyer ever sees this, they'll go, "Ah, what do you mean? It's obviously da, 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 da." I'm sorry, I don't remember what
This
it
is where
is.
everything starts going down the drain.
Yeah, I do not try to pretend to be a lawyer, and there's good reasons for that. But I do know that you can't just make a promise and then just never mind.
Yeah, I can
as I said,
understand this.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I think the problem is I think it was Mike. It was a lawyer. I think it was Mike. Looked at it and said, no. We've actually had some terrible experiences with people who exploit those kinds of statements. I think they would rather just not have a safe harbor statement, period, because then that's not a problem for them, for us. If you want a safe harbor, if you think it's critical and vital to have a safe harbor statement, then it's going to have to be much more fine-tuned than what was there originally. Because their suggestion was actually quite simple. Great, let's delete all that stuff. Go on. So they're not going to. They are absolutely not going to sign off on the safe harbor statement originally stated. If it's critically important, then it needs to be written in such a way that those with malicious intent can't just write it through.
Okay, so this means that at the moment we don't have a security policy, but we want to have a security policy.
You have a draft security policy. If you don't have a safe harbor statement, you can post it today.
No, yeah, but at the moment, OpenSSF has now a security policy for all the project. We want to have at least a generic security policy.
As
cover.
long as you don't have a safe harbor statement, there's a draft. It's already been approved. I
What?
think that
The TAC didn't approve it, did they?
No, I'm sorry. That went through legal. I'm sorry. I thought the TAC did approve it. No.
No, the TAC approved mine. They did not approve the other one.
Okay, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're talking about the other direction.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Ava,
You're right. Okay.
Ava was pretty staunch when we chatted about this, that they wanted to see safe harbor policy put into that.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so we have a disagreement here. The LF legal folks say basically we're not going to sign off on the safe harbor statement you originally stated. As far as legal is concerned, if you don't have a safe harbor statement, you're fine. The TAC has to approve. If members of the TAC say you got to have a safe harbor statement, then one needs to be created that both sides can agree on. I'm sorry.
I will jump in front of that train too.
Excellent.
I think it needs a safe harbor policy statement.
Yeah,
okay.
We have this. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure it needs one, but I certainly see the value of it. The problem here is that one needs to be crafted because as soon as the lawyers started looking, they went, "Oh, we have seen reasons you do not want to accept."
So
that
that's a matter of education, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No. I cannot go into it here, but they have specific experiences that make them say, "No heck." No way.
We've not had a safe harbor policy.
No, OpenSSF hasn't. LF has had experiences, not within OpenSSF.
So the OpenSSF had a safe harbor policy.
No. LF has received claims from people claiming to be security researchers. Has nothing to do with OpenSSF because we developed lots of software that's not
right. But the OpenSSF the LF has never had a safe harbor policy.
No, but if they had, they would have been strung up to dry. Because they have had experience. I can't go. Frankly, you need to go to talk to the legal folks.
Sure. I'm more than happy to have this conversation / debate with Mike Dolan directly because I think that there's context that needs to be shared here from the security researcher point of view. I
don't think the objection is, oh, we can't have a safe harbor policy. I think the objection was, as written, too loosey goosey. There's been some pretty bad experiences from people who claim to be security researchers, but their goal is to harm others, not to be helpful.
Well, okay, so I think that
I think it's a matter of crafting text.
No. I think that, but I don't know what specific pitfalls they are concerned about without having the conversation, right? Are they concerned
Right.
about like
Right.
if their risk adverseness is around PII, right? Or it's around customer, like if it's something specific that like that there was
So this entire, I'm sorry, this entire conversation should really be held with LF Legal in a
Right.
non-public.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly,
No, I
exactly.
agree.
Yeah, yeah. How's this? So let me shift this a little bit. And really, this is outside this working groups thing anyway. This is a vulnerability disclosures working group thing. So here's what I would say, Jonathan. You have both the background and passion. Once you talk with Mike, I would be happy to be there too. Although it seems to me that the issue is one of legal crafting, and I'm not a lawyer.
Can you arrange
So
that meeting? Because like I've already I already owed Mike some things. So can you drive that meeting to occur, and I'm more than happy to attend.
I mean, I'm fully capable of using calendars. Yes. So, okay. All right. So, excuse me. All right. I will try. I will then pick up the ball to create a meeting, and you and I and Mike discuss and go. But this is the wrong meeting for that because we need to craft some text. And I think whatever, if legal signs off on it, my guess is.
I mean, even before we write any words, right? I want to have a meeting with Mike to understand where his risk averseness is coming from, right?
Okay.
Because we can
That's
write
fine.
all the words in the sun we want,
Yeah.
but we want to know what they're trying to be what they're concerned about.
Got it. Okay, let's not waste everybody else's time. So Jonathan, Mike, and I will try to work with Mike Dolan, and we can move on to another topic.
Cool.
Okay, so action item. This means that Jonathan, David, you are following now the safe harbor for the inbound security policy, so we can find.
No. There isn't. There's which one did the TAC approve? It was the outbound one.
The outbound one.
Yeah. Okay. TAC is approved outbound. Neither the TAC nor LF, legal have approved the inbound. So nothing is approved yet on that. Nothing is approved in inbound.
No, it's not approved the inbound, but we need to solve the safe harbor. So the question is, for me, the next action item for me is, in the tag group, we have seen that people want to have the safe harbor. For the Linux Foundation legal team, the safe harbor is a problem. So I want to find or a different safe harbor, rewrite it to have a better safe harbor for the inbound security policy, or we need to remove it. I don't see other solution.
You know what, if I can make a suggestion here, to solve that problem, get Mike Dolan, us, and TAC all together, and that way we have all parties that are interested in an outcome, and we can just argue for an hour, and then hopefully at the end of the hour we have a solution that we all feel equally right.
Let's do it in two stages. Let's Jonathan and I talk with Mike. That's step one. Okay. Step two, once we've further understood the issues and started crafting something, then do it more widely. But I think some of the concerns that they're raised about are involving past events that were unpleasant and are not desirable to go public. So we want to get the lessons learned, but I'm not sure that they can share everything publicly. So let's get the issues, small group, larger group, and resolve. Okay? All right, next topic. Because I think we're wasting everybody else's time.
Not at all. This is all good. Okay, so that was on that. Luigi, did you have anything else? Okay, cool. By the way, I thought that was a pizza icon thing on, and I'm like, why does that's
already
great.
had. Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Oh no, that's pizza.
Pizza?
I'm certain. No,
I mean, I've seen pizza before.
It's got a curve in the bottom. It's got pepperoni. I mean, it's obviously pizza.
Cool. Okay. Disclosure check, Jonathan. I know we were trading things back and forth. We're going to chat with vulnerability disclosures tomorrow, or I am at least. I'd like that working group to adopt the project officially and all of that. We already have a repo in OpenSSF. We just need to move the content over. So Jonathan, if you have cycles to do that, great. If not, I can
Who's
maybe
the
squeeze it in on Friday, but definitely by Monday.
I guess who's gonna maintain it, right? Like there's always the like, great, a working group owns it, but who's actually like the maintainer of the code? Is that you still?
No, that's what we need. No, I don't want to own it. Going forward, I would like someone in vulnerability disclosures to step up and say, sweet, this is a good opportunity. I want to do this. Put my name down. I will own it.
You're not, I guarantee you're not gonna find that. Like, I don't mind it living
Well,
under the OpenSSF, like.
But then the
each
question
owns
is, well, what does adopting mean if it doesn't mean doing anything with it? I think we need to push on, like, just as like in this working group, like Luigi clearly owns security insights and like Amir clearly owns security reviews. Someone needs to clearly own this. And the answer is that like we don't have enough people to own this. I'll put a note out on the Slack channel. Someone will step up, I think.
I mean, writing code and then throwing it over a wall for someone else to own is not the way that I do open source. I mean, generally I like, you write it, you publish it, you kind of own it.
That would be great, but then nothing. I would have stopped years and years ago because, like,
I mean, well, you also have staff under you.
If you would like to own it, I would.
Yeah, well, I don't mind owning it, but am I owning it as AO or am I owning it as vulnerability disclosure working group?
It's all open. Like whatever. Either. How about this? Let's ask vulnerability disclosures if someone would like to own it because it clearly is in their charter. If they say yes, but we don't have anybody, and you say, well, I'm a part of this working group. You'd like to own. Jonathan would like to own it. Whatever. That's great. Let's do it.
Okay.
And if they say nope, not our thing, then maybe you own it as part of AO. And if like, we'll just kind of go down the line of like options, and it'll end up somewhere. And I realize it's musical chairs. If at worst case, yes, I'll own it. But
send me the code and I'll tell you whether or not I want to own it or not. I get to review your code and tell you if I want it.
That is dangerous.
Yep.
I just popped it in the thread back to you. I'll post it here.
You do have unit tests. All right. Well, that's a start.
I'm not doing public critiquing of my code. This is why I'm just warning you. I'm a PM by title. Anyway.
Make file for a Python project.
No, because I got to build a Docker image and stuff.
Oh, all right, fair.
And actually do the Python build thing. And
yeah, fair.
Not all of my ideas are terrible. Security reviews. I know Amir isn't here, but I noticed yesterday that maybe it was today that Google open sourced their Rust crates audit, which it looks like they dumped a big file worth of cargo crev audit things for a whole bunch of projects that, at least from a first glance, looks like they had someone like actually go through and are thumbs upping a whole bunch of cargo projects. Would have been awesome to have that be part of security reviews, because that's kind of the exact same purpose, but whatever. I think it's good to have that out there. That might be an interesting place for the audit dashboard, the risk dashboard to pull in data from. I would love a resource like this where lots of organizations contribute to. Last two last things. The threats paper. So the threats paper is now like 2 years old, 2.5 years old, something like that. It's missing some emerging things. I think it came out shortly before dependency confusion. So all of those types of attacks, I don't believe, are mentioned. Although we do talk about some things.
Oh,
related to
right.
that.
I started to work also on that, I guess. I have
Cool.
a draft on my drive. Yeah, I mean, we are talking about our first document written
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I was
Uh,
thinking is like, would it make sense to like, in addition to those, so kind of take whatever you've done and like solicit, like, hell yeah, everybody take a section and like, see where it is. And then, if you wanted to take the overall like revamping process, is that something that we want to do, that we think has enough value?
The document is quite good. I am trying to understand where I should add the new thing, or if I will want to add just an additional page. I don't know. But we have a GitHub issue where there are 2 or 3 good comments with missing topic. One is dependency confusion, and one is maybe multi-factor fatigue attack and similar.
Mhm.
And so the document is already still good. We need just to a small revamp. We don't need probably a version 2.0. I should just to share the updates maybe. Thank you for remember me about this, because I totally forget about the document. I have in my drive and it is silent. I started to work and I will share it. Please remember in 2 days ping me on Slack, so I'm
Perfect.
sure that I can share something.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do have some good docs here. We probably also want to include, I'll add this as a comment here, but about including AI ML specific threats as they relate to the rest of the topics. I don't really know what exactly that means, but I'm off the top of my head, like, attackers, if AI or if AI systems are used to make decisions, and things like prompt injection and whatnot can be used to undermine the integrity of those decisions. That if those are security decisions, that's interesting. And I know that the AI ML group is starting to spin up,
Yeah,
but
it's a good
it's just
point.
referencing that like there is a threat here that like, is
Yeah,
interesting.
and probably we can have a new section for AI, because the document, we didn't write nothing about the AI in the first version.
Cool. So wait, are you going to pull request back into the markdown, and we'll use the markdown as the authoritative, or are you going to do
I
Word
haven't
doc?
downloaded honestly a document in. I mean, I downloaded the Word version and uploaded on my Google Drive.
Okay.
I would prefer to use GitHub maybe, but weeks ago, you suggested, if I remember correctly, to use the Word document, so I just moved to Drive
Okay.
because I can add comment easily and so and so. But no strong opinion. I can move on Google on GitHub.
Yep.
Honestly, I think it is.
I don't have a strong opinion either. Like I think the PDF looks nicer than a printed markdown file. And I know that like in theory, there's a way to like make a markdown file look pretty as a published document.
No, I agree that the
that's
PDF is
wizardry.
better, and so probably have a version in Word that we can export in PDF is a good idea. The only reason why I like GitHub is that it's public, so everyone can see everything.
Yeah.
But we can write in GitHub and then we can just add it to the Word document, or we can create the Word document and then we can move to GitHub.
Tell you what, just make a decision, add a comment saying this is going to be the how we're going to do this.
I have only one concern about the Word document, and it is related also to all the other documents that I have, like the security policy. Now I am the owner of my Google Drive. I would like to move to OpenSSF something, a drive that I don't know if we have.
Oh, I gotcha. It's weird. OpenSSF does not have a Google workspace. So each of the, like the meeting notes for this are on my personal drive.
Yeah.
And the silly thing is like, you can't even tell from the URL, like where this thing is hosted or things like that. The Word doc, the official like final like V11 Word doc is physically uploaded, but you can't like collaboratively edit that in GitHub. You can download the docx file and do whatever you want locally, but there's no collaboration. So how about this? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Right. How would I comment on your Word doc? You'd have to send it to me and I'd comment and email it back to you, which would be
Or
so.
I send you an invitation by email, but I need to ask the email to everyone is in the Slack. Or I need to put it public with editor privilege or comment privilege. I don't remember now. And yeah, this is the reason why I would like to have a sort of OpenSSF space. And why I prefer GitHub, because in GitHub we have an organization. The only reason why, I mean, it's not a big concern. We are working on the security policy and we see that no one edited, but we have no spam or similar. But yeah, it is on my Google Drive. And if something happened to my Google Drive, we lose all the work that we have made. So
Let's do this.
So
Sorry.
yeah,
somebody else-
Cesar here. Just as hello everybody, it's my first time joining. Sorry, I joined 8 minutes late, but as a feedback in this topic, what I have seen in other community-driven effective foundation, for example, something that we currently do is that the meeting notes from each call are approved at the next meeting, and that is converted into a PDF and is uploaded in the official foundation website with whatever tool they have. And so in that case, it never gets lost and is officially approved every next meeting. And in the meantime, the live meeting is just running as we currently have. And in that case, the best scenario, as I agree with Luigi, is to have the foundation drive. But if that is not possible, at least having the fact of approving meeting notes from previous call and upload that to official website make things more smooth.
Yeah, I would really prefer us just to have a. In fact, David, do you know if conversations have ever happened with Brian or Ramkar about like, should we just have like a Google Workspace or something where like, because I think that the preference has always been like, let's just do this in GitHub, but like it still requires you to have like the personal unofficial thing, and then you got to print it. You got to remember to do the like. It's kind of a kludgy workflow.
I'm not sure I understand the issues. And to be honest, I'm trying to share two things at once because I'm trying to set up this meeting with Mike.
We would like to. We do a lot of collaborative work. There's no collaborative workspace that we have. Everybody uses their own personal
GitHub?
Google Doc. No, but it's personal Google Docs, and then you share it out or send out global edit links or whatever. There's no OpenSSF Google Workspace.
Yeah, there is.
I don't think so.
Yes,
I've never
I use it. I mean, yes, there is.
Oh, no. That's a Linux Foundation workspace. You guys definitely have it. Okay. I happen to have one for Alpha Omega because we're that's a separate thing. But like Luigi does not have access to the only Google Docs that Luigi has access to are under his personal.
Okay, well, I mean, we have not been insistent about putting all documents underneath the OpenSSF scope of the of Google Docs. Now, I mean, maybe that's something that should be done. But yeah, there's an OpenSSF drive and so on. I believe it's separate.
Could you see like if anybody outside of LF has
shared drive? So let's see here. No, let's see here. My drive shared with me. I don't know how you find it. So Okay, I think there is. I have not fussed with trying to keep track of what is what, but that sounds like a quick email to operations. And okay, so would a shared drive or area or something that's Google Docs but specific to OpenSSF, would that resolve the issue?
Well, that would actually solve lots of issues because things like the meeting notes, the past 3 years of meeting notes for this are dependent upon like me retaining my Gmail account, my personal
Okay.
Gmail account, which ain't great. So if we can throw that into something OpenSSF
Yeah.
owned, and I'm just a collaborator contributor, then that's better for that. That solves one set of reasons. The other thing
Right.
that Luigi was talking about is collaborative editing of a Word doc, which, if I recall correctly, like there's that's great if you're on SharePoint. There's no Google. It doesn't, like, I don't think Google Drive is. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I doubt that it's aware enough to support collaborative editing in a good way
I've
for Word
used that.
docs.
No, yeah, I've used Word on SharePoint before, many times.
Yeah.
Government lives on that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
It works in some cases. It doesn't work in other cases.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, it what it does is paragraph locking and such. So, if you're editing completely different parts of a document, it can work sort of. I think if your goal is collaborative editing of a document, how's this? I'm going to try to say this in the nicest way because we have Microsoft people here and we love our Microsoft folks, but there is a challenge of trying to support multiple tools.
Yep.
I don't see a big advantage
Yeah.
of supporting both SharePoint and Google Docs.
No, absolutely. How about this? I've got the perfect solution here. So,
Yeah.
David, if you could help us figure out if we can use an OpenSSF. This is
I'm going to go further. I'm going to create an email and say, moving Google Docs into related to OpenSSF into an OpenSSF controlled space. Okay. Let's see. Google Docs space. All right. So how's this? I have a crazy idea. This is actually.
I know exactly what
Share
you're
my
saying.
screen. Huh?
Go for it.
All right. Here's what
It is public and recorded, but
it is public. It's getting recorded. Hopefully, I have covered all the secrets. All right. So basically, let's try to figure out, quick group discussion. What are we looking for? Okay. Currently, many OpenSSF, Google Docs. Oops. Docs, including working group meeting notes.
Yep.
Are owned by individuals with either their individual accounts, personal accounts,
Yep.
or their work accounts.
Yep.
If they leave their job or stop being involved in OpenSSF, right? That could cause trouble, right?
Yep.
Okay. Perhaps we should move all OpenSSF related Google Docs, and that including slides, etc., into an OpenSSF Google Docs area.
Yep.
I think we have one, but I don't know how to access it.
So, two couple of problems. Permissions are wacky, right? How do you add a new document as an outside collaborator? That's how do you that means that for Google, if we want to have outside collaborators, then we've got to pay for workspaces accounts for them. There's also already I've heard people pitch fits to Brian Bellendorf about hey, like, you know, because the OpenSSF is so Google Docs heavy that people who are in highly regulated industries can't access Google Docs, such they can't collaborate in the OpenSSF regularly or easily because their companies block access to these things.
The problem, that's a fair point, but I think there's multiple different issues. There's the companies limit it, and I believe China actually just straight up forbids a lot of these as a country. The challenge is it's not clear that alternatives are going to be any better. I can't speak for all regulated industries, but at least the company I used to work for, Google Document Access required a special exception. Exactly the same applied to SharePoint or GitHub or anything else where there was shared access. So switching to a different tool helps you 0%, because what they want to do is scan every email. And if you're sending data out in a way that doesn't involve an email, then they don't like it. So I don't, for example, switching to SharePoint wouldn't help anyone, I don't think, because they'll block that just as quickly. And
So-
the same is, and for China, I think the challenge there is they're blocking those services, but I think they allow other services, but I think other countries block those services. So again, in that case there is an alternative, but then we lose a lot of other folks. So I think we lose. And I'm not an expert in this. There may be a better solution. I'd be delighted to hear that better solution, but at least my personal experiences was that there wasn't necessarily a better. And the challenge with, I think the other one is using GitHub. More people allow accesses to GitHub, but then the challenge is that GitHub is great when you want to do small changes to a document, but simul editing is not something it supports well.
Yeah. So I think this is great. Let's do this. I think this also solves a problem where let's just convert the Word doc to a Google Doc. I think Google Docs is practically the same level of expressivity as Word. And then we get it's in Google Docs. You can get moved over to the OpenSSF thing. You can do collaborative editing. It looks nice. And if we want to publish it as a PDF at the end, we just hit PDF and then we're done. Does that sound reasonable as a path forward? Does that not sound reasonable to anybody?
Okay. All right. Biggie. All right. Everybody good with this email that I'm proposing here?
Yep, sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. What is that OpenSSF Google Docs area, and how do we see it? All right, something like that. So where is it? I'm pretty sure it exists. All right, good. I'm going to stop sharing.
Cool.
All right. So it turns out I have the infinite cosmic power of writing emails.
Awesome. And I'm trying to figure out if you can import a Word doc into
Oh yeah.
Google Docs. You have to be
Yeah.
able to, right?
Yeah.
Drive. Oh, you do through Drive.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
by the way, when I say certain kinds of although Jonathan, you described saying different regulated organizations have different regulations, which makes things even harder to say generalizations about. Like I think my company wouldn't be considered, my previous company wouldn't have been considered a regulated industry, but for various reasons they were very, very concerned about a lot of stuff, in part because they were always getting attacked by sophisticated state actors. So they quickly became anal retentive about things that were, yes, we are technically allowed to do this, but we're we have good reasons not to allow it.
Okay. It looks like it converted, messed up all the pictures, but
Yeah.
like, it's just like all the pictures have white text on white background now. I'll figure it out. Is there anything else that folks want to talk about? David, we talked about reproducibility, so we can have that conversation real quick if you want. Not if anybody else has things that we want to talk about, that can take precedence.
I'm always happy to talk about reproducibility.
Cool. Okay,
All right,
so
what do we want to talk about?
this was the hallway conversation we had in Vancouver about how reliably can we rebuild a package, and how
Oh, right,
reliably
right.
can we do that in an automated fashion.
Yeah, I would love for you to write down your experiences so I can share them, because that's I thought your experiences were better than I had hoped, but the only way you know the result of something is to run the experiment, and I was delighted to hear the result of the experiment. It was even better than expected.
Okay. So here's what I'm actually thinking about doing, because I'd rather not, like, if I can kill two birds with one stone, like let's do that. As we ramp up assurance assertions, one of the things that I want to be able to provide is a snapshot report, whatever you want to call it, dashboard thing, of, and I'm not sure what, but like something like you should be able to go somewhere and say, either show me all the packages that are, show me a breakdown of reproducibility for packages like pass or fail, and there'll be some pie chart and it'll look like that, and you click on it and you get the list of packages that are reproducible and the list of packages that are not reproducible, and you do that for like each policy type, because we have all the data, so that's kind of trivial to generate, and then it's just a matter of like running more things through the analyzer, which does everything including reproducibility. And so you just kind of get that all for free once you pay the analysis cost. It sounds like if you had that, you would be happy. I mean, you're probably happy.
I would be
anyway,
delighted.
like, you'd be happier.
Well, I mean, I'm happy now, but but I would be delighted to to see that. Okay. So I guess maybe the first step might be to do the random sample, pick 100 out of, say, grab the scorecard list of whatever it is, 1 million, and maybe
something like that,
an ecosystem or two, and then just run it against that particular ecosystem, and pick 100 and see how many reproduced to certain levels.
Yep.
We probably need a name like quasi reproducibility, because you're not requiring bit for bit. But frankly, if you get bit for bit, I'm sure we fully reproducible. If not, hey, quasi reproducible. With a little effort, we got everything except date times, or whatever the measure is.
Right, exactly. And then actually, as the tool, so as we do that and we find bugs, we improve the tool, and then future runs will have more accurate, we'll be less likely to false positive or false negative on, well, it'll never false positive on is it reproducible? It'll false negative and call something not when it actually is.
For in some additional way, right. But indeed, the and I think that was the challenge with it, is that it could tell you in certain cases when things were okay, but if it wasn't reproducible, that wasn't necessarily a strong indicator of maliciousness, of a malicious build. It was just, well, I can't reproduce it, which is a different statement.
Absolutely, yep. And that's why, so what I'm looking at here, I'll just share that. Yeah. So
Yeah, so of course, what I'd love to do is convince somebody else to do this, like say Michael Scavetta.
Well, that's how you get things done. So for this one, so left pad 1.2 is left pad 1.3. Really? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can still. I can still hear. You can still see
Yes.
your shared screen
Right,
too.
nice. So I get a thing. Zoom quit unexpectedly, but apparently it didn't. So
Wow. Okay.
we're just gonna go with it. So you'll have this, and if you click on it, like we can have better text here that says
Yeah.
what it actually means.
A package can be at least quasi reproducible or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, so already in the output here, like
Oh, you're already doing this. Woo.
oh yeah. This is already. I mean, it's and this will be more readable.
Yeah.
When I try it again.
When you say
like here, it's saying that like left pad 1.2, there's a file added, which is git ignore. So in there's I forgot which way it goes, but like there's probably a git ignore in the repo that doesn't appear in the package.
Okay.
So that's something.
Oh, okay. So all right. So it's much more than date time. All right. So
Yeah.
So we basically, here's what we need. We need to use a new term instead of reproducible. I
Yes.
like quasi reproducible. You pick your term.
Yep.
Okay. And then basically somewhere define it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. And we have that.
And you're already doing that. I didn't realize that was actually currently in the Alpha Omega set.
Yeah, we've been.
Okay, that's cool.
We have these are our strategies. I'll post that in there, and I'll post that in the meeting notes. For like how we actually implement are these things like can you get there from here? And and the most basic one is like, are they exactly the same text? And then we kind of go.
Right. All right. I want to file a quick issue on OSS Gadget and just say rename from reproducible to quasi reproducible and explain it somewhere.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is about can you semantically reproduce? Maybe we call it semantic. OSS semantically reproducible or something but it's is it for all intents and purposes the same thing?
Yeah, I think the problem is the reproducible builds folks have been around for a long time, have kind of owned this word. I've tried to convince them to be more flexible, but they don't. I understand why, frankly. Yeah. So let's just pick a different term, and that way there's no confusion.
That works.
I will create an issue on it right now.
Cool. We are about out of time. Is there anything else that anyone would like to talk about? Awesome. Thank you all very much. Appreciate the conversation. See you all again in 2 weeks. And if you haven't seen the OpenSSF Day videos, just got posted to the YouTube channel. So enjoy. Bye all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.